Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hey, I'm WirelessRiot, and I am a Twitch streamer and content creator at twitch.tv/WirelessRiot, or you can catch me on Twitter at the same handle. I play a lot of indie games, simulation games, adventure games, things like that. So today we are going to be talking about my absolute favorite game franchise, and that is The Sims. Some of my earliest memories of playing video games was playing SimCity with my brother when we were small children. And my favorite memories were creating and building and putting in my energy on city planning and just making these incredible cities that were right out of my imagination, and just different ways that I could make buildings, make neighborhoods, make all of this stuff. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then, of course, we all go in and destroy it because it would not be the Sims franchise if we did not go in and burn it to the ground. So that was my earliest memories of the Sims franchise. And I know that there were several SimCity games after that, SimCopter, all of that stuff. But that really got me into simulation games and being a little bit more creative with video games instead of just going in and having a story laid out for me. I would be the curator of that story. And I loved writing as a kid and doing all of that because it got my creative energy out and gave me a very positive outlet for all of the things that were going on in my head, and to help me with my depression and getting out of my head and helping me to put that energy into something much more positive. Even though I'm destroying cities, I still was able to go in and do something that was tangible. At the end of the day, I could look after a couple of hours of a gaming session and see that I created a really cool city and I did something really neat. And I thought that was so awesome. So I did play a little bit of The Sims 1, and I don't have a lot of memories of it. But I do have a lot of memories of The Sims 2. Nothing too deep, nothing too far into the story of The Sims. I know it was very convoluted in The Sims 2. But it again brought out the storyteller in me, which, hopping into The Sims 3 is really what got me back into playing these simulation games, because I stopped playing a lot of them to play MMORPGs like World of Warcraft and other games, and popping back into The Sims 3 gave me that outlet that I was absolutely craving. I could create these families that were either ideal versions of what I wish that I had had, or I could create a whole alternative world based off of what's in my imagination and the stories that I was writing. And I could make those families a real family in this video game, which was so cool to me. So The Sims 3 really, really put me into that and helped me get a lot of order to my chaos. So I could go in at the end of the day when I was, not feeling great and really feeling super depressed or very anxious, and I just wanted to have something in my life that I could control. I would hop into The Sims and I would make a whole new house, and I would make a whole new family, and I would make a whole new thing. And I didn't really make Sims at that point that were based off of real life, that were based off of anybody that I knew. It was more based on the persona of the personas of the people around me that I wish that I could have been, or that I wish I could have experienced, and creating these houses that were just completely out of my imagination and completely out of anything that I could even ever fathom that I would be able to obviously afford in this economy. But the big thing was I started playing The Sims 3 towards the end of The Sims 3 life. So I really got into The Sims 4. And that is where I am now. And I absolutely love playing this video game. The Sims 4 has evolved my gaming in ways that I had no idea. I went through a very, very rough time when I started playing The Sims 4. A lot of very heavy emotional trauma and a lot of very heavy working through things that had happened to me and experiences that I had had, and this deep, darkening depression that I would never amount to anything and that I would never be able to create, because I had this whole mentality that whatever I brought into my life and whatever I created, I destroyed. And I had the opposite of the Midas touch, which was I felt that everything that I touched turned to death. And it was a very, very rough time for me. But going into The Sims and playing that game brought out a whole separate side of me that was safe to bring out in that environment, because I never really talked about everything that was going on and everything that was going through my head at the time. And being able to go into a game, build something that is a place that I would like to hang out, or a place that would really bring me joy, or creating a character that had a whole different life than what I did. And not just ideal lives, but also creating a character. Like, there are a lot of challenges in The Sims. So you could do a challenge that's the Rags to Riches challenge. So that challenge in particular will have you start from nothing and work your way up. And I wanted to experience that. So I was playing Rags to Riches. I was doing a bunch of different Sims from all different walks of life to try to experience different things and to try to experience anything that wasn't what I experienced. And it was a whole new game for me, coming back to playing it after giving it a little bit of a break. And now it's one of my favorite games to stream on Twitch. It has brought me an absolutely incredible community. It's brought me friends in places that I never imagined. And it's brought me a creative outlet that I don't know that I miss until I don't do it for a while. So my favorite thing to do in The Sims is to go in and build. I could build for days. I will go in and I'll create a little bookstore or a hipster restaurant with a little trendy apartment upstairs, or a really pretty family home, or one of my more popular downloads is a glamping cabin, which was the most ridiculous thing, but it was just something that popped into my head. And I thought, you know what? I want to make that happen. I want to make that a thing. So it was incredible to have something pop into my head and, hey, I really want to make this and I really want this to be a thing. And then I made it. And at the end of the day, I looked at it and I thought, wow, I actually made something. I did something, and I did something good. I did something positive, and I did something that other people are going to enjoy. And that is 100% exactly why I enjoy streaming. And it really, really hits home that The Sims and streaming go hand in hand for me, because there is nothing better to me than bringing entertainment to people around me and also bringing a little order to the chaos that is my life. So that is my story of The Sims and exactly why I really, really like playing video games and why I really like playing The Sims 4. So thank you guys for having me on your show. I really, really appreciate it, and happy gaming!
It all started with a mouse, and in the last 100 years, the magic of Disney has filled our homes and hearts and defined generations. Join the Doe Up in Dreams podcast as they take a deep dive into the Disney vault and examine the history, artistry, controversy, and even drama behind your favorite Disney films with host Maddie Limerick. With guests ranging from Imagineers, Broadway stars, voice actors, and even your favorite certain POV hosts. You'll want to tune in each episode to see what magic they'll dig up next. Find out more at certainpov.com and wherever you find podcasts.
CPOV.
certainpov.com.